And I've heard it said that this type of action and activity, it's messy. And it's dirty when it happens. And it's brutal, and it's violent, and it's distasteful. But First Nations people have to jump that hurdle and have to move in the direction, our direction, in order to fulfill that new definition. And I'm fucking proud of our community and our people, that we could take the actions that we have and that we could be that much of a part of changing the struggle and changing the landscape. And I heard someone say that not until the faces of our dead children and the cries and the voices of their mothers, not until that gets in and permeates every fucking person's household, and they suffer like we suffer, not until that happens will we stop.
Thanks, Sean. I was struggling before. I'm struggling even more now with the conclusion. We have a bit of time to take a few questions from the floor, if people have them for either of the speakers.
Hi. I just get it's more of a question than is it possible to resolve to all these problems with diplomacy and without violence? Because, like, I'm sorry, but no offense, but like every time I know newspapers are nasty sometimes. They can say things that are not right, but most of the time when things like this happen, always happens with a little bit of violence to it. I never seen a problem. Like, the first problem I encountered with First Nation people, or First Nation of all time, it was Oka in Quebec, with the golf course problem, that they were trying to build a longer golf course over the burial grounds. It happens overnight, and in less than 3 hours inside the argument, guns have been fired. Instead of can we replace the guns by pen and paper? Can we replace the violence by heartache talk? Is it possible to do any of that stuff without even tackle the issue of violence?
No.
Yeah, we're not going to have a debate. You get a chance to ask a question, you get an answer.
No, but also you should be clear. Violence comes from which side? At Ippawash, the OPP put out a press release that they were returning fire. But it became absolutely clear at the Ippawash inquiry that no First Nations person fired anything. That no First Nation person even had a weapon. And the violence was all in the other direction. So be careful when you talk about who's doing the violence.
I have a question for Sean. I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about what you think right role for non-native people in solidarity with these struggles.
I think that when we look to solidarity and we look to I guess, non-native support in the struggle. There's a place for everyone and a role for everyone to play. I believe that. I know with my work with the Ontario Coalition Against Poverty, I've had the opportunity to do work with people that live in the street and to target that indignity. That's made up of all of our faces. But it was something that I think when the first time that it became clear of that organization as OCAP, that we had people that were helping in the struggle. That we have people that are in different needs and different places. And those who can't even be part of the fight need that support as well. But 100%, you know, on June 29th, if those actions occur and if things go the way that it's anticipated, there will be lots of lines that people can join. And I heard it from OCAP first when they said, you may not like the front, but there's a middle and there's a back. And you find the place that you're comfortable, and the only thing that's important is that you're there. I know that it's difficult, and I appreciate the question raised by the brother with respect to violence. And that concerns people a great deal, and it concerns us. There's opportunities for, there's opportunities for significant changes to be made, for significant steps to be taken. And I think that if people, all people, can work to apply that pressure and say, it doesn't have to come to this. It doesn't have to come to this. But short of that, we would certainly welcome you on our lines. Or anyone. And with respect, Peter answered that question, and we had a road shut down, and there was police intelligence, and they said, oh, they got guns in their buses and stuff. And they were telling my mom and dad, and one fella said, well, it's confirmed they had guns there. And my dad said, well, it doesn't matter if they have guns or not. They shot Dudley George. He didn't have guns. And my father said, I would sooner see my son protected than not. And for Mohawk people, it's an indignity for us to be just shot down like that without ever having the opportunity to defend ourselves.